I'm loading. It's loading up for me.
Oh no.
Yeah, for me it's still loading too.
Oh no. So, who do you think is going to be revealed in the Smash Bros. Direct tomorrow? I think it's going to be cool.
Obviously, it's Gino.
The Lorax.
Wait, hold on.
The Lorax?
Oh, the Lorax.
If it's not Gino, we riot on the streets.
I heard the Laura, and I'm trying to remember.
The Lorax, he literally fights with the trees.
Bro, it has to be Gino. We got everyone else in besides him.
Oh, dude.
No, that's Gamora, not the Laura.
No. I know. It's going to actually be Dragalia Lost.
Oh my god.
It's their second anniversary.
That'd be a little too cursed. That'd be a little too cursed, but it could happen.
That's a good idea. I like it.
Dude, obviously, it's Rocket Raccoon from the Marvel series.
No. Easy. It's not really the Joy-Con.
It's gonna be the Lorax.
Oh wait, what if it's just Joy-Con? That's the next character.
In the book, the Lorax.
Yes.
Okay.
It's just the Joy-Con, but it has like little stick figure legs.
The Lorax, and then they made a movie off
And
it.
it's special. And the Joy-Con special is that
It was like the movie wasn't focused on
can't
it,
do
but it still
anything
had the
about it.
Lorax in it, and it was still called the Lorax.
Okay, can you see the stream now, or is it still loading?
It's still loading.
Oh my goodness.
And your connection is like spotty. I'm only hearing you. Every frame.
My brother is intentionally eating his lunch as loudly as he can. I'm gonna hurt him.
That's it. I'm gonna go right next to the Wi-Fi router, plug into the Ethernet, and I'm still getting disconnection. I swear.
It do be like that sometimes. I'm sitting on the floor in my living room because it's closer to the router.
No one's been microwaving.
I see things.
Okay, it's appearing.
I'm so loading.
Yes. For me, it is. I'm gonna hurt my. Oh my god! Hold on.
But can you see things now?
Yes.
Oh yes, I can see something.
I'm here now. Here is the one and only the iconic attendance sheet. Please sign it.
Okay. Is there a white screen up right now?
That is nice.
Brandon, I'll get you and Anthony in the
All right, thank you.
attendance.
Yeah, I see a white screen. I see adding art to your first game.
Okay. So presentation's up. Okay. So this presentation, it's not going to be something super advanced. It's kind of just building off the last tutorial. And if you still are unfamiliar with the game engine, this is a tutorial for you. Okay.
Oh boy, oh boy.
I'll start. Let's see. So our story so far, what happened last time on Sonic X. So there's no tool that does everything except Unity for a game dev environment. Oftentimes you're going to have to use different programs to do different things. One for game logic, one for art production, one for file sharing, etc. There are several game engines out there, Godot, Unreal, and Unity. Godot's great for 2D games, Unreal's great for making beautiful 3D games, and Unity is kind of a Swiss Army knife. Godot's by far the easiest one to get started with, though. And then you have the best game engine, PowerPoint. Okay, so making your own game. It's a lot easier to get started from a template. Game engines often provide free template libraries. If you don't start from a template, this is what you're going to be doing. This is the first result off of YouTube. When you look up Unity tutorial, it is a 2-hour tutorial just covering supposedly the basics. You can all still see the slides, right?
Not really.
No? Oh my goodness.
Discord's horrible at loading these screens.
I'm connected to an Ethernet jack. I'm not even sharing a program, I'm sharing the desktop screen. Can anyone else see it?
Nah.
No.
Oh shit. Hey, you know, you said there wasn't a game engine that did everything? That's
There
actually untrue. There's a fork of the Blender. There's a Blender fork that still has a game engine with like Eevee and all that stuff. That's crazy. That is actually the one game engine that can do everything.
Yeah, Blender's a game engine, a video editor, a 3D modeling program. Oh my goodness.
2D art, don't forget about that. Grease pencil.
Anything showing up for anyone.
Animator, sculpting, rigging.
I had to leave the chat and literally close Discord and come back, and now all I see is a loading screen.
Yeah, same here.
Oh,
Oh, now I'm back. We're back.
Wait, yeah, we're good.
Look at that.
Oh, okay. So can I start again? Okay, so making your own game, it's a lot easier to get started from a template. Game engines often provides a free template library. If you can see this picture right here, this is your alternative. You can look up YouTube videos on whatever tutorial you want, but oftentimes you'll be spending way more time than you expect. And coding from a template is pretty easy. All you really have to do is know what you want to find and Control F everything. Keep clicking on things until you find values that look interesting, tweak them around, and see what the results are. And this is actually what we do in Composite 491 with graphics for games, so it's not really too out of the normal. So, what about the art for the game? So, there's a lot of things to consider for art. base resolution of the game, size, style, color, what a full render would look like, pixelization, proportions, sketches, the UI design, and see it's a cackle, animations, UI responsive. Okay, I can't even. So, if this is your first time with Game Engine and you're an artist, you might be wondering, how do I get my art into the Game Engine? How do I make it move? How do I make it beautiful? Blah, blah, blah. So, let's start simple. Can you still see these slides?
Yes.
Okay.
Ignore me. I don't matter in this situation. Everyone else, as long as everyone else can see it, it's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna post a recording afterwards with what's on my computer right now. Actually, it is recording. Okay. So let's start simple and start by stealing an OC.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so cue tutorial.
How
Have
illegal.
any of you heard of Piskel before?
Yes.
So Piskel is a very nice program. Basically allows you to do Microsoft Paint, but with animations and transparency online. Oop. Okay, so whenever you're in a game engine for the first time and you've got a template up, you'll see all these art assets on the screen. And you know what? We can just steal those and work with them. I mean, they're already implemented in there with the right dimensions, with the right kind of style. Everything out there has already been made for the sake of this one demo. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically take the existing art asset and mod it so we can kind of get what we want. This is really just modding a game at this point. So, being the unaware person I am, I have no idea how to find the art asset. But look here, there's a robot on the screen. I'm gonna click on that robot. Oh boy, he's selected. I'm gonna keep clicking on him. Oh look, he appeared there. Well, you know what? I'm gonna click on that. Oh, what's this? There's stuff that highlight in the editor. I think sprite is important. Sprite. So the sprite is clearly what's controlling the image of the character. We want to edit that sprite. The way we do that is editing the texture to the sprite. So we clicked on the sprite. You can notice that the texture shows up here in the Property Explorer. So all we have to do really is find that texture and now edit it so it's the sprite that we want. This is very rudimentary, but it's a good way to get started. So we're going to show it. We're going to show it in the file system. Looks like that option appears when we click on it, and it highlights this PNG file right here. So we're going to open that PNG, show in File Manager. Look, as we can see, the PNG is. Sorry, one moment. I've got people at my door. Okay, is there much background noise?
It's not that bad.
A little bit.
I'm like in the middle of my
but not
house,
that bad.
Okay, that's good. So, we found the robot, clicked on it. Here's the image that we showed for it, and it looks like it's a sprite sheet. So, we're going to just basically tweak that sprite sheet to get what we want. So, I'm going to go to an online program called Piskel. Piskel is completely free. All you have to do is sign in with a Google account. Click on mine right now. And to create your first sprite in Piskel, all you have to do is press the Create Sprite button. And then this appears. This is basically like Microsoft Paint. I mean, you just draw. You've got your pen tool. You've got your almighty bucket tool. You've got your select tool. You can even paint all color pixels to be something else. And you can also control palette, but that's beyond the point. This is just to show you how to kind of get started at. So for Piskel, we want to import our existing image, right? So we click on this import button. Import button says, browse images. Let's do that. So we're going to grab our sprite sheet. Looks like it's already up. So as we saw in our file system before, robot demo file pass, copy the file pass. Here is a robot demo right here. We're going to click on that, open that up. And now it's asking us to import that sprite sheet. Of course, if we don't actually have to edit it with Piskel, we can edit it with, like, let's say Microsoft Paint and just draw over the character. But Piskel's kind of better because it offers us transparency layers as well as animation support, and everything's a lot easier in Piskel. So we're going to import that image, click on that demo file, and now it's asking us, do we want to import the entire thing as one frame, or do you want to import it as several frames? We can import it as several frames, since there are several frames. Looks like there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 16 frames to the right and 2 frames down. So it says it's a 512 by 64 image. So let's divide 512 by 16. So it's everything is 32 across. And 64 divided by 2, that's also 32. So it's divided our sprite sheet into 32 by 32 bit chunks. I'm going to import that. This will replace our current animation. Yep, we're fine with that. Okay, so now we've got all of the sprite frames loaded in the editor. And we are free to tweak them however we want with whatever transparency layer we want. Like, we could just, if we were the North American localization team for all the Kirby games, we could just, draw these on the character for every single frame and make him mad. And then it will start to show up in every one of the animation frames. But for this process, if you're working from an existing asset, you're going to have to tweak every last one of these. It's a very time-consuming process, as you can imagine, and I've already done this in advance. This took about like 2 hours yesterday. Copy, but I'm not very fast. What I'm doing here in the video is every single one of these frames has a different pose. So I'm just trying to mock the pose as clearly as I can with an existing character I've got. Go back. Does this make sense to everyone? All I'm doing here is drawing over this existing picture with an asset of my own. Is there a chat? Okay. So eventually, when the process is all done, you get a full set of sprites and an edited PNG. So I'm going to show you what that edited PNG looks like. So this is our new sprite sheet that I edited just yesterday in advance. I took every one of those frames from the previous sprite sheet and just tweaked them so that I had a character that mimics the exact same pose with a similar layout. So now that I've got two sprite sheets that function almost exactly the same, all I've got to do is drag and drop them in the editor. The resources should work pretty much exactly the same. So we're just going to trick the game to think that instead of I got a robot, I've got something else. So that's what we're going to do. Let's see. I'm going to show this in the file manager. It's a robot demo.png. Well, here's my new robot demo.png. And I just drag it in there, delete the old one, rename this. Woo! Forget that import file. And look, whoa, we just changed like that. Wow. Just right off the bat. So now for that demo we had the other day with the robot, we've got this character walking around. Once again, this is no different from just a very crappy way of modding things, but regardless, it gets the job done. Okay, so that's done. We stole an OC, we got in the game, and we used it. Okay? So, bottom line. When you have a template, you've got existing assets in the game. They're going to be exposed as PNG files, as sprite sheets, and you can really just draw over those sprite sheets to get something that works in the exact same way that the template used it. This isn't by any means an advanced way of getting art in your game, but it can help you start out and get things going if you have absolutely no experience with the game engine. Some other things you can try out is instead of taking the exact same dimensions, exact same frame count, and everything, you play around with those values and tweak the game engine as such. For example, on that sprite sheet we had, every one of the sprites was 32 by 32. However, I didn't actually have to obey that. I could have made something 128 by 128 and just tweaked the editor so that it understood that there was exactly 128 by 128 frames. Let's go back. So, templates provide good examples of stuff that's game ready. You can tweak it, and it's not advanced. This is really just modding a game. But you can still use it to make your own game too. Let's go into the real meat of this. How do we make a game look nice? So, whenever I approach game development, here are two thoughts that kind of fight in my mind. I don't need to think about the UI. I'm a programmer. Why do I need to talk about the UI? That's something for later. I could do that in the final stages. That's just polish. The artist can make UI for me later. It's not my job to make it. So, is there a problem with these two thoughts? So let's say you put off the UI. Can everyone see this image or this GIF?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, no. We just
No?
have PowerPoint.
It's in the PowerPoint.
I don't see a GIF.
You don't.
Yeah, there isn't one.
It's on my screen. I'm sharing the screen.
I think it froze.
I'm connected to gigabit
See on
Ethernet.
Friday, Nick.
If you go back a slide. See if it changes for us. Yeah, I think it froze. I'll be honest.
It's showing.
We're still on common thoughts. I don't need to think about the UI yet.
My screen is loading.
What if I?
What?
It updated.
Ooh.
Can you see stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
Okay.
it
That's such
is.
a cool GIF.
Are you kidding me? I increased the quality of the screen, and now it's loading.
hmm
Okay. Whatever. Let's say you put off the UI.
Hello?
So you've got this beautiful
That's
fight
it.
scene from I think this is Dark Souls. You can all see this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you put off the UI, you wouldn't get this. You'd probably get something more like this. So, I mean, of course, in the future you're going to have this, but right now, what's on your screen in development stage is this. Is this a problem? Well, let's say you want someone to play test your game. What are they thinking? They're playing it and they're seeing a number go down. They're seeing another number go down. They don't exactly know what the max is, and they don't know. They can't be assured that the min is 0, though it's pretty common to think that. You don't exactly have the same feeling you'd get from having HP bars like this, versus this. So UI is part of user experience. Your player's opinions of the game affects how the player perceives it's polished. If you only have these text boxes on the screen, even though you can tell the player, oh, it's still in development, they're not going to have the best first impression of your game. So, also, the way the player sees the game, like with the health bars, that should be incorporated into how the player plays the game. Seeing a health bar go down, seeing things move on the screen, seeing how things blend together, that's all part of the game. And you do not want to overwhelm your player with walls of text or values. It's easy to read a health bar. It's easy to read an abstract thing on the screen. It's hard to look at a whole bunch of values just posted on the screen, like health, hunger, day, week, SP, mana, items. If you put that all on the screen, you're going to get terrible UI, and terrible UI is going to make the player feel overwhelmed. So, the other argument. The artist will make this for me later. The artist will make you the UI later, yes. And, the character designs, character sprites, the backgrounds, the weapons, the enemies, all of the other assets. The artist has enough to think about already. Maybe you can have the artist polish the UI in the end, but you need something to work with off the bat. So, I'm no artist. How do you expect me to make nice UI? And to that, I answer the best game engine ever, Microsoft PowerPoint. Okay, so here comes the free part of the demo. I'm going to take the demo project that we had before, and I'm going to add some UI elements into it, namely a title menu. What do you want to be on this? What do you want on this title menu? Just name something. Okay, not hearing anything from the chat.
Title.
Let's start off.
Title.
Yes,
Insert
that's a great
title
statement.
here.
Okay, we're going to start off with a user interface node. This is good stuff for UI. And we're going to add a title to it, okay? So, add a label. A label in Godot is a basic thing that will give you text on the screen. So, title. Okay, we've got our title. We can stick in the center. This looks beautiful. No, it doesn't. So, problem. This title, we could improve it. First of all, we could give it a background. That's where Microsoft PowerPoint can come into play. So, let's give the title a background. Just so it kind of stands out. What shape works good for a background? Probably something boxy, right? What kind of box should I use?
A triangle.
No! Let's use something that we could probably work with. Like, maybe a
triangle.
pentagon.
It is the most structurally sound shape.
Okay, let's use this nice round rectangle.
Squircle.
So you all are familiar with PowerPoint, right? You can click on stuff, give it an outline, give it a fill. Well, let's kind of blow that out of the water here. Let's do that. Let's start filling it with gradients and whatever. The best gradient. Format, shape, fill. Let's change the colors. Ooh, looking edgy. What edgy color goes with red? You know, I should ask the question, what kind of game are we making? What's going to be the title of the game? Someone, tell me the title.
Lorax Fighter Z.
Lorax Fighter Z. Okay, sounds good. So we know what we're going to name it. So let's make it nice and edgy. You can see we've got something very PowerPointy, at least at this point. Let's just get it so that we can stick it in the game without too much of an issue. Okay. We've got just kind of a box with an outline and a gradient on it. Okay. The cool thing about boxes is 9-patch-Rex. 9-patch-Rex can stretch to any size. So even if you have to change the title later on, it will scale. I'll show you what that means in a second. So let's save the picture somewhere. Okay, got the background for the title. Got this label. I'm going to insert something called a 9-patch-Rect control node. That will allow me to add a 9-patch-Rect into the scene. I'll show you what that does in just a moment. We're going to stick the asset into the scene one way or another. There we go. Might not be in the right folder, but it doesn't matter. So we've got 9-patch-Rect. When we click on it and look at the right-hand side, it looks like it takes a texture. So we're going to drag and drop that texture into it. Oh, missed. Drag and drop. There we go. So we've got a texture in it. Okay. The cool thing about a 9-patch rect is that when you put it on the screen, first off, it looks like, you're kind of just stretching the texture. Ooh. But we don't want that. We want it to look cool. We want it to be width independent in case we want to change it from Lorax Fighter Z to Lorax Fighter ZXY 2020, the ultimate version. So, a 9-patch rect allows us to basically change what scales as we scale that rectangle. The way we do this is by moving these little adjustment bars right here, the right-hand side, left-hand side, and this will tell us basically what we need to scale. So by moving these somewhat into the right and somewhat into the left, it will say don't scale this little rounded edge section when you scale it left and right. Let's see if it updates. Okay. So no matter how long we make it now, it should be able to stretch with what we've got. So let's put the title onto the background. You can do that in Godot really easily by just reparenting it. Say the layout is full rect, and then suddenly you've got this centered on the background. But we need something else. We need maybe a font. Has everyone heard of DAW font before? DAW font is a very nice place to get free fonts that can be stuck in the game and even a commercial game. So let's go to a random font. What would go great with Lorax Fighter Z? Probably
That first one is perfect.
first one. Yeah, let's just do it. Yeah, I'm not thinking this is edgy enough. Maybe medieval. Is that a good category? No, we're just gonna go with the first one. Okay, we're gonna unzip this. Okay. Looks like we got that. And we're gonna just kind of stick it in our project. Where's our project? There's our project. Okay. So we got the font in there. So all we did was we downloaded the font from DAW Font, unzipped it, stuck the folder in the game project. So all we're gonna do now, we're gonna take that and we're gonna change the font. You change the font by going to the label. Changing the custom font. See, it has the custom font flag right here. Say new dynamic font. Font load. Tiny add new font. And well, it looks kind of small. Let's change that. Change the size. Let's go 108. Go add some filtering so we don't get that added to the alias. Go to 96. And let's not forget we need it centered, so let's put center. And it's kind of high. Let's change that by just changing the font a bit. Font data. Extra spacing. Bottom. Well, we can make the bottom higher, or we can make it lower. Suddenly we've got exactly the effect we want. Okay, so let's go back to the title. Lorax Fighter Z. There we go. We got some spacing in there. Let's change that so it's a bit more condensed. There we go. Okay. And in no time at all, we've got a node in Godot that's got kind of a fancy render of our title screen, or at least our title. And if we wanted to change it sometime later, because we're using a 9-patch rect, we'll be able to just scale it outwards without any concern of anything being unreasonably stretched. So that's something. What else? We've got just a few more minutes left. What else could we put on the title screen? Any ideas?
What about an icon?
An icon? How about a background? Oh, how about a burning forest background? I just got that recommendation. Okay. This wouldn't be PowerPoint based, but let's see. Might be that hard. How about we make something that could be iconic for it, okay? An icon. Yeah, the icon. So let's just make some sort of tree in PowerPoint and make it on fire. So PowerPoint, very easy to work with. Let's just draw a tree. Okay. I definitely passed my art classes. Don't question it. This is what a tree looks like. Okay, we still need the last part. We need a box. There we go. Send to back. So this is my beautiful tree. I'm not an artist. Let's make it green. But even though I'm not an artist, let's make this cool. So let's see. So we've got our tree right here. What can we do to the tree? We should probably make it look like it's burning, right? So I took everything and I grouped it as a single object. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy that object, paste it as a picture. Now since it's a picture, I get this little effect in the top tab called Picture Effects. And so I can start adding other sorts of kind of effects onto the image itself. We need something that kind of looks like it's on fire, right? Oh, that looks good. That makes it kind of more believable. What else? You know, I like that style. Let's get some fire in there. And actually, we can copy and paste this picture as a picture again, and then apply another artistic effect on top of it. We can keep chaining this over and over again until we get the picture that we want. Colors, do we need colors? No. What am I hearing? So how can we make a fire in PowerPoint? You know, I like that sketched effect, so let's just play off of that. Let's just try making a fire. Okay, this is just a polygon. So we've got a polygon that looks like that. That's not convincing enough. Let's change that outline. Dashes, more lines. Oh, I have an idea. Let's take that outline and try making it sketched. Ooh, now it's kind of a little believable. Let's just keep repeating it. Okay. Flip this again, just to hide it. Okay, we've got kind of a fiery effect here. Let's see if we can add some more effects to it just to make it beautiful. I'm gonna group that out of the picture. Take that, copy, paste this picture. Let's see, can we add an effect onto it? Not many effects are just solid lines now. Okay, so we kind of have the effects we want, and we can really just dismiss it as art style, but it still conveys the point without looking too out of place. Any other polish we can add to it? Probably not at this point. We've only got 5 minutes. So we're gonna use a magical group function in PowerPoint again. Let's just fill that last thing in. Okay. Yeah. Give this a fill. Add this. Ah, there we go. Whoa, look at that. Just got like twice as good. Save as picture. Stick it somewhere in the downloads. Okay, so we got our icon. We made it. We made it in just like 3 minutes in PowerPoint. We didn't need to communicate with an artist at all. All we had to do was just drag a bunch of shapes across the board and just have the PowerPoint editor just take care of it for us. So now all that's left to do, stick it in Godot. Texture. And let's add a texture rect in. This will allow us to add an image in. And let's take our image, just kind of drop it into our folder. Actually, there we go. We've got this nice image right here. Add it to the texture. And voila, we've got that. So now all we've got to do is kind of scale it down. Full rect, that's kind of lame. We're going to change it so we've got the center, got it covered, got it centered. Let's get that centered. All we have to do is say top. Be top wide. And just kind of drag it down. Okay. And just like that, in no time at all, we went from crappy default text box to something that looks kind of closer to what we want. Of course, we didn't really polish it. We just used Microsoft PowerPoint assets to do it. But it helps us convey the theme of the game a much faster time it would take for us to communicate with the artist, get something made, talk about it, see what a final version would look like, and get that in the game. We just took 3 minutes in PowerPoint to make this, and it kind of looks like what we probably want. Florax Fighter is an awesome 2D Mugen fighting style game. This is getting me pumped. Coming to the Nintendo Switch.
When?
So that's really all I've got time for today. This was just a basic tutorial to show you how to kind of easily start getting art into your game, and if you're not an artist, what things you can do to get UI into your game that don't look like just bare text boxes. Another thing to consider about that HP bar problem, a lot of game engines will actually have something like an HP bar, like a progress bar, that can actually be configured within the game editor itself. So look towards that whenever putting an HP bar in.
Don't underestimate PowerPoint. I made an entire UI system in PowerPoint. It's fine.
Yeah, PowerPoint can do quite a lot. So that's about it for today. Any questions?
Did everyone sign in on the attendance sheet? Looks like it. I see a lot of X's. Please sign in if you haven't already.
All right, gonna stop the recording now.